Patriots fans, on today's episode, we jump into Christian Gonzalez. Happy birthday to him, by the way. And we talk about his contract and the negotiations going on right now. As well, we're going to jump into some sneaky good news about A.J. Brown going into 2026 with Drake May and some other happenings around the NFL. Let's roll. My name is Aaron, big-time Patriots fan and former Mainer, bringing you Patriots content on the daily, ladies and gentlemen. So don't miss out. All you got to do is subscribe. Go ahead, do it already. Jeez. Hit the notification bell and hit the like button. Let's jump right into it. We know the big talk right now for the Patriots is when the heck are they going to sign Christian Gonzalez? Pay that man. Jerry Maguire, show me the money. As simple as that. Now, a lot of people are trying to equate this situation, and this is really a big reason I want to talk about this, to the whole Diana Russini situation, which is stupid. As I continue to say, as I said a couple videos ago, sports media is going to try to kind of pigeonhole this story and say this is why, like that is why the Patriots lost the offseason. That is stupid. To have that in a whole story, the whole Diana Russini thing with Mike Vrabel in a story, but yet not touching on one free agent or one trade that they made to better their team going into 2026 is absurd, and that is called bad journalism, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you look at the whole story, They have moved on from the situation. Regardless of what you think, ladies and gentlemen, they have moved on from the situation. But now with Christian Gonzalez, what they are trying to do is they are trying to take that and say, listen, if July 25th comes and he is not signed, this is going to be a big headache and a big situation and a glaring scene for the New England Patriots going into training camp. And that's all people are going to want to talk about. That is sure. I firmly believe, and a lot of analysts believe, he will be signed and given that extension before training camp starts. You move on, wipe your hands, and say, man's great, one of the best in the league, if not the best. Pay the man. Let's move forward. I firmly believe that that's what's going to happen. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, listen, time out. He still has 2 years left on his contract. The Patriots right now have a lot of leverage where, hey, they still have him on his rookie contract. Next year, 2027, he is fully guaranteed since they exercised that 5th year, $18.1 million, a good chunk of change. We would all agree, hey, we'd take that in a heartbeat. But the man wants more money. McDuffie, the Rams, again, I have no idea how they have the money to pay all these people, but they do. They're probably in debt up to their eyeballs. But regardless, he's getting paid 4 years, $124 million, average 31 per year, which in LA, I don't know how much he sees. He maybe sees $1 million a year. Anyways, you look and he's a slot corner. Christian Gonzalez, Devon Witherspoon, they're going to get paid more than that. They're going to get paid more. A lot higher ceilings, both coming out in the 2023 draft. Huge potential out of them. And Mike Vrabel, Elliott Wolf, Ryan Cowden, all of them have said, listen, we're going to retain this guy. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to figure this out. You would be nuts to think, ladies and gentlemen, that they're just going to sit on their hands and say, we're going to wait it out 2 years till we figure it out an extension. They ain't going to do that. They understand the absolute gem they have found in Christian Gonzalez, the generational talent at corner, and they are going to pay the man handsomely, and they will get this figured out. So mark my word. You can come back to this video. You can tag this video. And if I am wrong that he is not signed before training camp, you can tell me I was wrong. But I'm pretty confident the Patriots are smart enough and will make the right decision to do so. And all of the context clues from everything everyone in the front office has said should lead everyone to believe that they are going to get this figured out. And this is just the media saying, listen, we're trying to make a story. We're trying to make this juicy so people can start jumping on the Patriots and saying how stupid they are and saying how much of an issue this is. And this is why they're going to fall off in 2026, this, that, and the other. Don't buy it. Don't buy all their BS. Okay? Don't buy it. It's going to get figured out. Believe in it. What are your thoughts? Comment below. Now, as well, we got to talk a little bit about A.J. Brown because this stat is pretty astronomical, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So, ESPN Analytics can help project what receiver A.J. Brown might bring to the Patriots in 2026 as it uses player tracking data from the NFL Next Gen Stats to evaluate every route a pass catcher runs and scores his performance in 3 phases: getting open, catching the ball, and running after the catch. Of 110 wide receivers evaluated last season, Brown was ranked in the top 16 in all 3 categories, joining Rams' Puka Nacua as the only other wide receiver to be ranked highly across the board. Ladies and gentlemen, that was in a year last year that a lot of people would say was in a down year for A.J. Brown. On top of that, playing with a quarterback that a lot of people would say is not as good or is not, it gets way too much hype for what he can do. Lord knows the biggest thing he is known for is a bunch of guys pushing him to get a first down or to get a touchdown on the 1 yard line in the old tush push. But that being said, take that right there and then pair those stats with Drake May and the potential that he has shown, that he has had, that he has shown on the field, in literally the potential they have together as a quarterback and a wide receiver. If this is what you get from A.J. Brown on a down year, imagine what he can have as a true number one in an offense with Josh McDaniels at the helm, with a young budding quarterback that almost won MVP. The sky's the limit, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care. You might be saying, Aaron, you are glazing this man up so much. I do not care. I'm on the train. And I ain't jumping off. So what are your thoughts? Comment below. A.J. Brown, but I find that as sneaky good news. Comment below. Now, this is kind of a weird transition, but we're going to jump into turf field, grass field. George Kittle came out and said, why are all the World Cup games played on grass? Well, you better believe that the reason that is because there's probably FIFA has all these different rules, whatnot, this, that, and the other. As of right now in the NFL, it is split down the middle. There's 30 stadiums. Half of them use turf, half of them use natural grass. You might be saying, Aaron, your math is wrong. There's 32 teams. That is correct, but there's only 30 stadiums. There's two stadiums that are shared by teams. Can you name those? Comment below. But a lot of stats that are presented to show that there are more injuries at fields that use turf as opposed to natural grass is pretty astronomical. It's pretty night and day, pretty black and white when you see it all. So it is an interesting thing to see in the future. Is that going to change? Now, a lot of people might say, well, what about in these colder conditions where it can get sloppy and muddy and all these different things? Sure. There's probably, again, an argument to have there. And maybe there's some stats there to say, like, okay, maybe injuries do go up, obviously, when you have that. But a lot of people would argue the non-contact injuries on turf fields are exponentially higher than on natural grass. It's a great argument to have, and it's a great conversation to have. I have a buddy who's a Bears fan, and we talk about it. The Bears literally looks like they play in a mud pit in January. I've been there a couple times for a game at Soldier Field. Now it's going to be in Hammond, Indiana, the Hammond Honey Bears. I tell that to my buddy. He gets mad every single time. Very funny. I laugh every single time. But what's better? What do you think the NFL should do? Should everyone go to grass? What's your thoughts? Comment below. I want to hear from you. You make the decision. You make it. Last but not least, actually 2 more things. Tyreek Hill, favorite right now to go to the Raiders. That would actually be very interesting in a team that is trying to rebuild. You have Ashton Genty that I actually still believe in. I think he should have won the Heisman a couple years ago when he played for Boise State. I think hopefully he has an offensive line in front of him that can finally block for him. And then you have Brock Bowers, arguably the best tight end in the NFL. Fernando Mendoza, him and his stepbrother Kirk Cousins. It will be interesting to see, how that plays out for them. But I think there's a lot of potential for the Raiders. We'll see how they do. But clearly, this year's a rebuilding year. Tyreek Hill would be an interesting add to this team, but would definitely help that wide receiver room, which you could argue is probably easily in the bottom tier of the NFL. So, what are your thoughts there? Where do you think Tyreek Hill signs? Last but not least, we got to talk Canadian Football League, because everyone talks about it. Says no one. But the Canadian Football League came out. If you are following this whole Brendan Sorsby story, I just figured we talked about it before, but I want to talk about it again. The CFL has even came out and said, listen, they will not let Brendan Sorsby join their league. This needs to be understood, that all these major leagues and organizations, associations, the NCAA, the NFL, the Canadian Football League, probably other leagues will follow. So you'll probably see this from the UFL, is they have a zero tolerance on betting on sports, specifically your own sport. This is what was needed, especially in NCAA when this judge comes out and says, listen, we're gonna have this injunction. We're gonna let them play because they're not going to be able to go to court until after that season, all this, and basically trying to maneuver their way through the legal system to get him to play, which they've done that with other players, but it's been apples and oranges in the sense of other players who have done that. They played JUCO football and they were trying to get one more year of eligibility, and then the court ruled that it was okay for them to do. If you go read on the Diego Pava story, him at Vanderbilt, there's a couple other stories, more safety at Indiana. They're very interesting stories where I think 99% of the country would be like, yeah, just let them, like, they were playing community college football, let them play another year. Like, who cares? Like Diego Pava, yeah, he thinks he's taking Lamar Jackson's job. Brother, you ain't taking Lamar Jackson's job. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Let him play another college year. Who really cares? So those are different injunctions compared to this one where it was like, oh, we're going to suspend him for 2 games and then let him play. The dude was betting on sports at Cincinnati and at Indiana before that on his own teams. Holy cow. So these leagues saying, listen, we're going to draw a line in the sand, no more. I respect it, and I think it's the right move, and it's going to show people in the future that there's no funny business when it comes to this. You do this, you're going to get screwed. And the NFL has been very strict on that with punishments that it is dished out to multiple players throughout the years where it's been suspensions. But imagine if people were betting on actual NFL games. Holy cow, it would not be good. Comment below. What are your thoughts? Punishment too harsh for him? Not harsh enough? Who knows? Comment below. We'll talk later. Peace.